excuse me while I lay down, but like I was saying, spiritual warfare can be exhausting. Energy vampires are a real freaking thing. And just life can sometimes be overwhelming, and sometimes God will tell you just be still and rest. Listen to your body. Sometimes when you're going through a healing or an upgrade, like you need to rest. Like when you're in the hospital and you have surgery, um, too. Everybody talks about like ascension or enlightenment or healing, but healing hurts. Like if you've ever had any type of injury, really, or okay, so I got interrupted by some hood kids, but so I had to stop for a moment. But anyway, I was saying sometimes when you're healing or you're enlightened or spiritually ascending or growing, like growing pains or things like that, or you're healing spiritually or physically or even emotionally, it hurts. It can be hurt. It can be exhausting. You just have to trust the process and get through the pain. So a lot of times too, like when people have broken bones or surgery, they don't realize that healing hurts. And so like they're like, oh, give me pain medicine, or doctor, something's wrong. But in fact, like that's totally a normal part of the process. And so that's why I'm making this video like a lazy daisy, because I'm healing and growing. um, Plus it's like 10,000 degrees. I don't know where you guys are, but so today I wanted to first tell these cults and covens and gangs, you don't scare me. So I don't, and even I don't care who tries to astral project into my house. I don't care what big bad bikers you send to my local corner store and try to block the entrance with your sunglasses on, like, Bro, first of all, I'm not trying to instigate or anything, but you don't know me, first of all, at all. There's literally nothing you can do to me that hasn't been done or I didn't already live through, and again, I will get fit in, okay? There is no way, Jose, that you can intimidate me with just looking at me or blocking my path, because again, I've been through some stuff, bro, and I'm talking like some stuff. You think you like, oh, and again, I'm not downplaying abuse and things like this, but there's like people who are like, oh, I'm being abused, and I'm not. All abuse is bad, but again, there's like some freaking people who have no idea what abuse is, and so again, even if you pistol whip me and shove me in ovens, turn on broil, been there, did that, bro. It's gonna be a fucking fight. Doesn't matter if you're girls, guys, 20 of you, 80 of you, 1,000 of you. First of all, I walk with an army of angels and ancestors and God. So you even and that was, I lived through all that before I had that. Well, no, because I've always had backup and God was always protecting me. But even before I was aware of it, so I have an army. I'm an army of one. I know my strengths and my abilities, so you can't fuck with me, bro. You definitely, and you're a clown. So driving past my house every day, lurking on the corners, trying to sick your dogs on me. You guys are weird, okay? Plus, like the mental fuckery and the psyops that the government tries to do, or this spell work that these people try to do, okay? So, okay, you don't want people to know what? That you're sexually assaulting children, that you're murderers, that you are rapists, that you're organ trafficking, drug trafficking, scamming people out of money, counterfeiting money, have fake government medals and acclimates, you are a fake psychologist, a fake doctor, that you're president of a country but you're a fucking rapist, that you are supposed to be a spiritual leader but you're again a rapist, or you eat human meat literally, that you do blood oaths, Ouija board magic, beauty magic, death magic, that you have these entities and demonic things being attached to you. You don't want us to know all this stuff, like that. these companies are being used for nefarious activities, that these celebrities, remember I was talking before about the machine that you could jump time, or them to take your biological, like your DNA and your blood and things, and create like flesh suits of you, or implant a chips to connect you to a computer program. So like even if the entity is not attached to you, you're still, the music and the movies are hypnotizing you. So a big thing, like I was saying too before about this machine, that like if you jump 100 times, there's going to be 100 you, and that doesn't count the ones that they've grown organic flesh suits to put over cyborg foundation or what have you. So also, like, we joke about things like, why does Keanu Reeves, there's a picture of him from like the 1800s or whatever have you. Well, because that's really him. It's not his fucking ancestor, excuse my language. It's really him. These people, they have either, there's two ways that this is possible. One, he comes from a divine bloodline that is immortal, because again, angels can't die. They divine beings, they don't die. Like, even if they die, they don't die. They come back. Another, and I was talking about like transferring consciousness, that your spirit. So like, when they do die though, like it takes time for them to regrow back to full speed or full form. So for their bodies, they can, again, I'm not an expert at this shit, okay? I'm just trying to break it down for you. Again, from my experience and from, to put it in like layman's terms. And again, because people are all worried about getting rich quick, and, or they have like signed NDAs, or they're contracted and tied up into, government secrecy or secret societies or these cults and covens, and under some kind of obligation to be quiet. First of all, if my parents were alive, they would tell you, you can't keep me quiet, bro. I talk in my sleep. Every job I worked at, like, played music, because if there's quiet, like, there is no telling what's going to come out of this mouth, okay? If it was a choice between staying quiet and being dead, I'd be dead, bro. If a bad guy comes up to me with a gun, he's like, say one fucking word, and I'm going to kill you. Excuse my language. I'm going to be like, word? Or what? Why? You know what? I'm not going to shut up. It's just not going to happen. Again, and depending on the gun, because this has happened before, too. Like, I will throw hands, bro. And, like, you could come at me with the AK-47 and shit, I'm not going to be scared. If anything, I might be scared of, like, a little 22, because they're, like, ping, 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 off your insides and do way more damage than, say, like, a judge. What looks like it could punch holes in an elephant, or, like, boom, chop a house in half. But, again, those things don't scare me at all, not even a little bit, in fact. Plus, if you did pull, like, a 22 or a 38, I'd be, like, offended and think it was a lighter and try to, like, smack the shit out of you. So again, your scare tactics don't work, and I'm sorry that you don't want the world to know that you're a fucking rapist, or that you're sacrificing babies and women, and you're harnessing sexual energy or fear tactics, and utilizing the government or the cult churches and hospitals to harvest organs and to sell people and products on the dark web, or even regular real life. So watch out for people like Serafini. Watch out for celebrities who you think are over here on, like, American's Idol, Britain's Got Talent, whatever you call it. These people that you think are great people, they're actually terrible people, and they're very much a part of it. Too, also be mindful that one day some person, young or old, suddenly has a job that seems like so good to be true, like they're working in hospitals, be them security guards, janitors, nurses, because that's a big way that they utilize their access to gain victims. So, like, they pay attention to who's sick, who's dying, who's alone, teenagers that are on the streets, or women who, because again, nobody is more loyal and loving than a woman, be it to a man or to a child. So if they're putting her in a situation where they're like, do this or you're going to get your family hurt, and or do this or you can have your man blah blah blah, you're going to do it because again, as a person who loves, as a woman who loves, you're going to do anything for them, even if it meant getting buried alive, even if it meant being drugged and again gang raped and these things. And two, the funny part is, or they tell you like, hey, if you just get in this hole of dirt, then this dude can gain his eyesight back, and you don't realize that like you literally buried yourself, you're dead, like spiritually, or you're part of this contract, or you are, say you catch somebody eating human flesh and cannibalists, like say they, again, once you know too much too, you become a target. So recently too, I was called, I don't care who knows this or what knows this, I was, again, because there's spell work, and then when you're under the influence of drugs or traumatized, it can take you a long time to process something that happened. So you might think it was a dream. You might think that it sounds insane. You might be afraid to get in trouble. So, or again, you brush it off. You're like, that can't possibly be real. I can't possibly be there. You're like, I can't possibly have seen myself walk down the street, but also know it, or seeing you in another body, like replaying a memory of a situation or a timeline where, like in this particular timeline, while you walked right by yourself, but this yourself was like a fatter older woman or a younger black male or a different type of body shape of you. But again, there's rules to this. So I've also seen people be killed or sacrificed for a contract, for real estate, for money. Myself being sacrificed a few times by these people that so-called love me, or drugged and raped, trafficked across countries, across states. And then they can also wipe your memory because there's chemicals, even aerosol sprays, that they can use to poison you, to erase your mind, to make you tell the truth and confess these things that you would have otherwise never told them, so that they can steal your creative content or your attach an entity or take your consciousness out of your body and place it somewhere else so that they can use your body to go and do these nefarious acts. So again, I told you there's rules to this where they have to tell you what's going on. So, and sometimes we just chalk it up to entertainment. So like these horror movies or these thriller movies or the music. So like Kendrick Lamar has a song, he's like, I see dead people. And then he's like, they're not like us. They're not like us. Because, bro, they're not like us. Let me explain to you. They're not like us. Just like it means, like, they're whole fucking child rapists and pedophiles, they're also, like, blood drinking, blood eating, organ harvesting, child trafficking, blood ties, blood oaths, moon magic. They're not alive. They're also implanted with these chips. They're part of a power grid or a simulation program that is run by the elites or corrupt government officials and churches. And again, the easiest way to gain the access to do these things to you is to, they first look for like someone who has a crack in their armor, somebody who's ingesting alcohol, drugs, somebody who desperately is hungry or homeless or wants to do better for their children, or who is a bleeding heart and cares and wants to help the world. They will use that against you. They'll look for any way to attach with you. Again, a lot of people are insecure and can't be alone, so you'll allow access to your house. They can see inside. Once they see inside your house, they can astral project into your house. They're using your energy or your spirit, even doing favors for people. Like I was saying the other day, I do laundry for somebody or giving gifts to people of my possessions. So they can use those things to pay off karmic debt, to siphon energy from you, to attach spiritual or drain spiritual powers and life essence from you. So, again, there's certain celebrities that look like too beautiful or somehow are in every movie or every music and because two reasons. And I'm not saying that nobody doesn't have talent, okay? Not saying that, because there's plenty of people that have talent. But also, there's plenty of people who don't, and they have gained their notoriety and their access to all of these jobs and programs and projects because of their, for lack of a better word, I'm going to say divinity. So, it's not about what you can do, it's about who you know. So, because they think that they're protected by certain, again, false gods, bro, false gods. These people that do, like, divination, or tarot, and they think that they're talking to God, or that they're talking to the fucking devil, excuse me. Not saying God don't talk to people, not saying that there's not the righteous teams that are gifted by proper channels and birthright, but a lot of times, they are corrupted. A lot of these court cases, these CEOs, these things, there's ways that they can get their foot in the door and be overtaken by nefarious entities. And like I was telling you before, these people that have never been to war, that are decorated war heroes, that have access to government secrets and bank accounts or trials going a certain way for some people, but in the exact same trial or situation, no matter how much proof there is, suddenly innocent people are going away. And it's because a big thing to do with it is because when you know too much or you are a threat, they are going to want you dealt with. And excuse my house, it's a mess. I'm packing and moving. Not because even a little bit scared of where I live, even with these fuckers weirdos parked outside my house or filing false police reports against me, or the police arresting me for weekends at a time for no particular reason, and none of the cops and none of the judges can tell me why I'm being held against my fucking will for doing nothing wrong. But either way, every time you can't hold me down because, again, there's rules to this shit, and God, there's nothing God can't bring you out of. So if you walk with purity, if you talk to Him, if you believe in Him, because that's a big thing, your belief. So these blood contracts or these NDAs, it doesn't matter if it's ink or blood, it doesn't matter. Don't let the fear or shame or regret of what you have seen or been a part of or even done by your own hand ever keep you from saying no. You can choose this day, each moment, every moment, you can choose at any time to stop and stand up for it, speak up for it. And again, don't be afraid, no matter how crazy it sounds, to speak up. Your voice is your strongest power. It's bigger than any weapon. It's bigger than any gun. It's literally the power of your voice and your faith, your belief is what gives them power. So like when the fear and the shame that you might have on you too, or is going to feed these demonic entities and these keep you trapped in these gangs or cults or covens and whatnot and contracts. But there's going to be, if you just seek God or seek help from another source, get an unbiased opinion. Like, hey, is this right? Am I nuts? Did you see this? Again, these people the world is still good. The world still has hope. That's why we're still here. But the world is not what we think. And so, just be mindful of to live in the light, to live with love, to trust in God, to trust in your intuition, and to see the patterns around you, like I've been saying about animals, children, people. It's just important, and it's your greatest weapon is your voice and your intuition and discernment, or your faith and your love. There's nothing, because that's exactly with God. When I say God, trust and believe that's love. That's love. Like, even if at this moment in time you don't believe in God, you believe in love. You believe in the concept of somebody's loyalty or efforts to somebody, whether it's a gang or your relationship or your children. But there's a lot of the world that only has children just so they can sacrifice them for gain or fame or energy and to stay young, to live forever. But there's a time, and the time is now, that God is very much alive and well, and He has been checking, kind of like Santa Claus, right? He makes a fucking list and he checks it twice. So, gonna find out who's naughty or nice. And again, you can at any time change what side of the line you're on, but you have to choose a side. You can't ride the fence, because the devil owns the fence, and you might think that you're walking in a good gray area, but boop, he's going to come and snatch your ass. Anyways, have a good day. I love you all with the love of Christ and God's grace and strength. Amen.